Hey, y'all. Welcome to Cross Politic. It is good to be back. It's been a week.
We're recording?
I think we are.
We're already recording?
I think so.
We got Toby Knox, Waterboy, and Pastor Gabe.
Toby Knox?
Uh-oh. It's been a week. I forgot. Thank you for joining the Fight, Laugh, Feast Network. Make sure you guys share the show. We're going to be talking about the Georgia heartbeat bill. Why can we not, man? There's some good stuff going on in Georgia, and I think some really important.
God for Georgia.
Amen. There's a lot of good things to be excited about that heartbeat bill. We're also going to be talking Chalk Talk through Chris Cuomo. Cuomo, right? Cuomo, I got it right. And Christine Quinn. And a Rick Santorum interview, really good stuff there.
Oh, they had a little bit of a ruckus.
I just want to say thank you, CNN, for giving us content.
Thank you, CNN.
That was just so kind of you guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Make sure you guys join our club. To be able to do things like this, to be able to talk about the heartbeat bill, to be able to kind of, I think.
I want to just thank everybody that's just become members.
We had a big month.
I mean,
we had a big month in April. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. All the way from Australia. To, we had UK, a couple of people in the UK become club members. You know, we got someone in Norway who's a club member.
There's Christians in Norway.
That's why I'm post-mill right there.
I know, exactly. If we can get a club member from Norway, why aren't you post-mill, y'all? Come on now. How could you believe that?
I want to remind you of the Called Conference. Go to calledconference.ninja. It's a conference that challenges Christian high school students to become the next generation of cultural leaders. It's here in Moscow, Idaho. Yep. Sponsored by New St. Andrews College. Go to calledconference.ninja. This year we have Doug Wilson, Steve Jeffrey, Andrew Clavin, Jason Elmore.
Andrew Clavin is going to be talking about the Gosnell movie, why Christians should be writing scripts like Gosnell, because he wrote the script to the Gosnell movie.
Right. Dr. Ben Merkel. I'm going to be there doing something.
Yes, you are. I got you on the schedule. Yeah. And Josh Bice. G3, Josh Bice. He's coming up.
He's going to be here. All right. So anyways, sign your high school students up. Plan to come to Moscow. Calledconference.ninja.
All right. So you guys, obviously everyone knows the Georgia heartbeat bill passed this last week. And I think there's a couple things before we get into Chalk and Talk. Chalk and Talk. You like that?
Okay.
That's good. Chalk Talk. That's awesome. There's a couple things that we want to bring to y'all's attention about this Georgia heartbeat bill. First, it criminalizes abortion.
Yeah. Outlaws abortion at any time a fetal heartbeat can be detected. Embryonic or fetal cardiac activity.
Wow.
I think that seems like a really, I'm not a medical professional, but,
and of course we have the problem of a heartbeat bill. We're talking about a heartbeat bill, but there's
life begins at conception.
Yeah, that's right. But we've been able to get the argument down to the heartbeat here. And not only that, they've actually are going to criminalize, and this comes into effect January 2020, that they're going to criminalize any woman who actually does a heartbeat bill for up to life in prison or the death penalty. Potential
option to be
taken. And they also criminalize, I forget the exact terminology. If a woman from Georgia goes to another state to get abortion, comes back to Georgia, they actually criminalize that. What do they call it, Toby?
Conspiracy to commit murder.
Yeah, conspiracy. So there's a number of really, I think, encouraging things about this law.
It's the first heartbeat bill I think that we've seen that has some actual teeth on it.
Yeah, well, they've actually...
Yeah, because why aren't we talking about Ohio's heartbeat bill? Why not?
Yeah, what?
Well, because honestly, I didn't even know that this bill was criminalizing abortion until I read it from a liberal paper.
Yeah.
They saw this. It wasn't the conservative Christians I saw talking about this. It was the liberals. They're all up in arms about it, and they're talking about it. And when you're in Georgia, you got all this new Hollywood. That's where all the new movies are being made.
Atlanta, everything. Yeah.
Nobody was talking about leaving Ohio. Well, it was just LeBron James.
LeBron already left Ohio.
He's like, I'm leaving. That's it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So it defines personhood.
Yep.
For Georgia law, as beginning at the heartbeat.
Right.
The article I saw this, I pulled up the same article that you did, this liberal writer sees the logic, that a woman who self-terminates will have, as a matter of law, killed a human.
Yep.
Surprise.
Thereby committing murder.
Uh-huh.
A woman who seeks out an illegal abortion from a healthcare provider would be a party to murder. A woman who miscarries because of her own conduct, intentional conduct, like using drugs while pregnant, could be liable for second-degree murder.
Wow.
Right.
Like negligent homicide.
Like a drunk driver.
That sort of thing.
Right.
Yep.
Also, and this is what you're getting at, if Georgia resident would plan to travel somewhere else to obtain an abortion, she could be charged with conspiracy to commit murder.
Because that conspiracy happened in the state.
Now,
Murder happened in another state, but the conspiracy happened in Georgia. Yeah.
We were talking about this offline, but I was trying to figure out biblically, how do you apply what are the sanctions on that particular law? Now, I get what they're doing, and I appreciate that because they're saying we really care about this.
Right. The logic is that for first degree murder, the Bible itself recognizes that if there was intent.
Yeah.
If there was criminal intent to murder, that's what makes capital murder. It's what makes first degree murder. You intended to carry out this murder. You did it. And so the logic of criminalizing conspiracy is basically saying that intent, the conspiracy to commit murder, is part of the crime.
Right.
Now, how to, I don't know my biblical case law well enough to know, so how do you get at what the exact
what's the penalty
should be?
Maybe you do. That. If you know that, send us an email.
Gary DeMar probably knows.
Yeah, I'm sure he will too.
That's good.
Gary North too.
He would help us.
So CNN caught fire this last week because their hair was on fire about this whole Georgia Beat Bill, and they got Christine
Georgia Beat Bill.
They got Christine Quinn come on to debate Rick Santorum on this, and we're gonna talk through this.
Get ready for screaming cats.
If you don't like Roe, that's one thing, but for a state to codify something that they know violates the federal standard, what do you make of that?
Well, I mean, everybody that passes a marijuana law violates the federal standard when they pass a recreational marijuana law, and they do it. And sanctuary cities, they pass laws that violate it, and the court determines whether they have the right to do it or not. Look, the legislatures as well as the Congress have the right to challenge the court, and if the court composition changes, as it has over time on a variety of issues, they have the right to go and challenge that. I just have to make a point, Chris, because you and Christine both made the point, you and your introductory and Christine, where you basically invalidate the point of view that me and millions of others.
Before we get there,
hold on. So here's the thing. He's right. So that's Rick Santorum, and he's saying every time a state passes a marijuana law or a sanctuary city or sanctuary state law, they are challenging federal law. Now, one of the things he's not clarifying, which I maybe he would agree with me on, though, is Roe versus Wade is not federal law.
Right.
Courts cannot make law.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if he would agree with you on that.
I don't know, but I'm just saying that this is something, though, that Christians, you need to get down in your bones about the way that our government is organized and structured. The Constitution was specifically designed to separate powers. Yeah. The judicial system only is supposed to judge whether other laws are consistent with actual laws or not.
Right.
That's it.
They can't make them.
They cannot make laws.
That's right.
Only Congress makes laws, and the president signs them into law.
Yeah. So what was the Supreme Court doing in 73?
What
were they doing?
Tyranny.
That's right.
They were making it up. Now, this is the thing. We've been making it up for a long time.
This isn't the first time that they've done it.
And Christians, I mean, this is the thing. This is on us.
Yeah. Right.
We let the Supreme Court start legislating from the bench decades before Roe versus Wade, and we let them do it, and nobody threw a fit.
Well, the reason we let them do it is because we couldn't manage ourselves well.
Yes.
When you actually go to someone else to manage you, this is what you get. If you can't govern yourself, then you get a tyrannical leader.
Right. And it eventually, and a lot of times there's money involved.
Oh, of
course, they're paying out money, and you don't want to be the one that says no, because then you might lose the money or the benefits or the protections. But this is messed up. So this is the thing, though. He's absolutely right. There's states are already doing this.
And he's using their argument, the liberal argument, marijuana.
Immigration. But the point that I want to push back on, Rick, is it's not just a matter of challenging the courts. It's saying this is protected by the Constitution.
Right.
The 10th Amendment says that whatever is not explicitly granted to the federal government is reserved to the states.
Right.
And there is no right to abortion in the Constitution.
That's right.
Other Americans have with respect to this issue, which you just say this is all about choice, all about a woman's right. No, it's all about the life of a little baby. And you can invalidate that and say that doesn't matter. But to millions of Americans, it does matter. And it's not that we hate women or want to violate women, but we truly do care about the life of that child in the womb. And we think a good society protects those children.
Can you pause real quick? I just have to say this. I get what he's doing, and I hate to pick on Rick because he's doing such a great job. You're going to see later. He keeps going. He goes on hard. But God says.
Yeah, right.
God says. Millions of Americans don't make the decision. God makes the decision. They obey. God is the standard. not what millions of Americans think. Millions of Americans can think that I deserve to be in chains.
Yeah.
But that's
well, in a minute he's going to actually say that explicitly. He's actually going to say the majority of Americans.
But we need to get in our head. God has said you shall not do this.
It doesn't matter what the majority says.
I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah. That's good because later she pulls the card saying, "Hey, this is a woman's body." So Rick Santorum's appealing to the millions of bodies. Yeah, the masses. She appeals to the individual body. That's a bad argument. Yeah.
About the rule of hold on a second, Christine. Hold on a second. I'll get to you. But what rules in this society, Rick? How you feel with your faith, or the rule of law? What rules?
But the rule of law should be determined, in my opinion, in this area by the collective morality of the people of this country. That's what legislatures are trying to do. Absolutely.
Rick.
So the Supreme Court passing
9 people shouldn't make that decision.
9 people, 50,000 people, 100, 3 million shouldn't make. God has made that decision.
Well, he's not making a distinction between where God has spoken.
Yeah.
Now, are there certain things that a collective people may decide on their own within the freedom of God's law?
Within the freedom of God's law.
But there are certain things that are embedded in nature by a sovereign maker, a sovereign creator, and spoken clearly, like thou shalt not murder.
Marriage.
And thou shalt not steal.
Thou shalt not steal.
And that
Adultery.
argument doesn't go any farther than Nazi Germany. I mean, Nazi Germany
collective
decided
morality.
Collective morality.
Rick.
Yeah, not good.
Really?
But they have.
So you don't believe? So you don't believe in the Supreme Court? You don't believe it's the supreme law of the land?
They should be injecting themselves into a matter that is something that the public can handle and handle very well.
Really? Then who gives these state legislatures?
When people are killing themselves in back alleys before Roe v. Wade?
People are dying now too, Chris. I mean, the reality is millions of children are dying.
A lie.
No, millions of children are dying, Christine. That's a reality.
Because you define
16 million children.
define a child.
That's good.
All right, one at a time. Christine, go ahead.
If you really cared about the health of human beings, you would never take an issue like this away from a woman and her doctor. And a 6-week bill,
Rick.
makes it illegal. Children. And this bill...
Keep saying that. 60 million children.
If you care,
60 million children.
Did you hear what she said?
Yeah.
If you care about the health of a human being?
No.
Woman, shut your mouth.
And the deep irony of this is that even on her terms.
Yeah.
Even just on her terms. Grant her the point for a second. The crazy point.
It's hard.
Abortions destroy women's lives. They destroy women's
bodies.
Health. Yeah. They destroy women's bodies. Yeah. It's a shame.
Even on her terms,
even just on her terms. I mean, the long-term physical, emotional, spiritual damage done to a woman who's gone through an abortion is insane.
You know what's crazy about this? I think later even Chris even says something like, this is a hard decision for women. This hurts women. It's like, then why are you even supporting it? Right. Also, I just have to notice in that last little exchange when we started the clip, notice how Chris appeals to a standard. You don't believe in law. He appeals to his God right there. You don't believe in this. And it's funny because what Christians have to do is gird up your loins, get your back straight, and say God has said, because they're going to appeal to their standards.
Right.
They're going to appeal to their bogus laws.
Right.
And we just have to be comfortable saying God has said this.
Yeah, God has said this, and he has the right to say this because he made this world.
Yeah. And
this is his world.
But you're seeing Rick Santorum's kind of Roman Catholic apologetic come out a little bit.
And to go along with that too, another thing that's a poke in the eye is that the people who founded this country understood that.
Yeah. And they explicitly stated that. They said that this was the inalienable rights came from our maker.
Right.
We have to be comfortable saying those things.
That's in the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah.
And they did it
you
wrong.
talk about caring about human beings' lives. Then why would you take away a woman's ability with her doctor to make decisions when her life may be at risk? You take it away because you actually do not care about women. You take it away politically.
A baby dies in an abortion. Do you realize that? Are you ignoring that fact?
He keeps hitting on that. That's good.
Human life
not a legal fact.
It is not a legal fact.
Do you disagree that?
What law? What legal?
It's not a yeah. So there, that's actually great. I'm glad he said that.
Yeah.
So again, this goes back to your point, Gabe. Who's the God?
Yeah.
Who's the God of the system?
Yep,
right.
That's right.
He's appealing to the God of the state, and if the state gives this, then it's a legal right.
Yeah, that's right.
And if it doesn't, it's not.
So the only objective morality here is what the state says.
But here's where Rick should have hit the ball out of the park. He could have asked Cuomo, not a legal fact. Don't you think there's something that's higher that transcends something that's legal here in America?
Yeah. Or what if the state doesn't? Like,
has they ever got it wrong?
Have they ever not recognized certain class of people as not being citizens?
I'm just saying.
I don't know.
I'm sitting over here just like, really?
AT 57.
Yeah. Chris Cuomo's like, that's not a legal fact.
Yeah.
At the moment of conception, that child is human and alive.
That's its viability.
It's
a viable human being. It is not recognized under our law as a person under the law.
Answer the question.
The
Is it
law is
biologically
wrong.
a human life?
You know what the answer is.
I do.
Actually,
it's
it is acknowledged as a human.
touch work in the world.
I was meeting with some high up educators a number of years ago, and we were talking through this debate, and the guy kept arguing viability.
Yeah.
And so I just said viability to 9 months, and he said, yeah, well, that's between the woman and the doctor. And I said viability up to 1 year. I said a viability if the infant is 2 years old, is it viable? And he said I'll never forget this. He said, that's a good question.
You said he was a high up educator?
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a number of them. There's like 4 or 5 high up educators.
Question.
Yeah.
And you should not be allowed anywhere near children.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I mean, because you can't lock down viability.
Yeah.
At conception, that is a human life.
Only
you ignore
it
that
is
reality.
not. That
You
is
guys
not
talk
the
about being the party of science.
Listen, hold on.
This is so
That is
science.
not.
Go, Rick.
Hold on a second. Let me just set the
It
table.
is true.
Hold on a second.
No, it's not.
Calm down.
It's not a
Just
belief.
calm
It's a
down.
fact.
The
It's a
only
fact.
thing that
No,
can
it's
be
not.
created by two human beings is a human being. Period. The law
what do we
recognizes
kill
a person with rights at a certain standard.
So
you are
you're-
conflating the two. You're doing it
Chris,
for convenience.
before
That's
that-
okay. But either
before
you
that-
respect the law or you don't.
Okay, before that thing is a thing, before that thing is a person, what is it?
What do you mean? What is it?
That was really good.
Are you
That was
gone?
good. Yeah. You should have seen Cuomo's eyes. He's like,
what do you mean? What is
what do
it?
you mean?
Like, what do you mean?
But he,
That thing
There are
in
all
the
these
womb that
different
you're killing.
stages
What
of
is it?
cellular development.
But what is it?
Go Google it.
So it's
what I'm
called
saying is,
property.
you
Rick,
either accept the law or you
Smart
don't.
argument.
I'm okay with that.
So I'm just
Google
asking,
it.
Chris, is it the property of the woman at that point? It's not a person. It's the property
It's
of a
not.
woman.
Her body is always her property.
Okay,
Yes.
so but that's a unique
Rick,
human
you-
being
It's
not her
inside
body.
that woman.
No,
so
there
is that
is
that
not.
woman? Is that
Rick.
the property of a woman?
Rick.
So you can do whatever you want
Rick,
with it.
it is
So let me
part-
ask you this
Rick,
question,
can you
Christine. Let me
stop
ask you
for
the question.
one-
This is a little bit where the libertarian logic breaks down, because they apply to the individual standard. They apply to, you can't harm anybody else. I can do whatever I want with my body. And that's kind of what their argument is right there.
again,
They're kind of pulling the libertarian argument a little bit in this.
it's not her body.
Individual rights. Yeah,
Right.
well, exactly.
That's a human being.
It's a human being.
And Rick Santorum is exactly right that by medical standards, at conception, you have a unique human life. It
That's
has its
right.
own unique DNA.
And you know what? A human soul.
Yes.
Okay, let's put that in there too. That's
Right.
another human soul
That's right.
inside of another human.
Right. Yeah.
Second, no, because
So,
you're not
Christine,
Chris Cuomo. You don't get to ask the question. Let me just say.
If
That's
the woman
great.
who was carrying that child, because let's say she was blind, and she decided she wanted to have a blind baby too, so she can inject that baby with something that would blind the child,
Rick.
not kill it, just blind it.
Rick.
Would that be okay?
Rick,
Would you
you
say
are
that's
bringing
okay?
up.
That's
Look,
good.
You are
I'm going to go to
bringing up.
Christine on the point, but I'll tell you what's not okay. I think perverting fact patterns, perverting realities,
Perverting
and trying
anything.
to demonize what people do, you guys make it sound like this is cheaper than condoms. This is easier than condoms.
Right.
So just go abort your babies. These are painful decisions for these women.
They're
These are things they
used-
live
Wait,
with
wait,
for the rest of their
Taking our
lives.
life,
You-
Chris.
Wait, but why is it a painful decision?
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's a tumor,
Yeah.
then it's not a painful decision.
Well, and this was interesting here. I think we have two different liberals.
Yes, I know.
So Cuomo, he seems to say, okay, yeah,
He's kind of a moderate.
Yeah. It's human, but they don't have rights yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other lady's like, it ain't even a person. She don't care.
Yeah.
Right? She just has
Oh,
no.
yeah.
Like,
But she swallowed the whole thing.
Why is it so hard? If it doesn't have rights, there's nothing wrong with it. What's wrong
If it's
with
not a human being, if it's not a human life, then it's not hard.
It's not hard.
Yeah, I know, and they
huge.
think about it, and they think about it in a way that you never will, Rick. So you're projecting all these
That's not
emotions
true,
and
Chris.
sensibilities on ethics
I-
on people in a
I
decision
hope
you'll
and
never
support-
make.
Wait.
Yeah.
And you're not projecting ethics?
Exactly.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. Do you know what it feels like to be the baby that's being poisoned with saline solution?
Or stabbed in the back of the neck?
Do you know what it's like?
To be sucked
You
out
will
in the
never
vacuum
know what
cleaner?
that's like.
So shut up.
Chris?
And Rick,
I
let
help
me
and
just
support
say, Rick,
crisis
let me
pregnancies
just
Help and support.
Crisis.
It's not in your body. Christine, last word to you.
Yeah. Let's be clear here, Rick. With all of your
Stop
distortions
that for a
and
second.
horrible.
Stop that for a second.
Yep.
He said it's not in your body. Therefore, you don't have any laws.
Yeah. Yep.
But if he was the father, he has just as many rights as anybody else.
Right.
The lady, the doctor who they keep pushing in this conversation.
Yeah.
No. If you're the father, that is your child. That is your blood. That is your
and
little
Christians
person.
need to push this hard.
Yeah, you can't say that.
We need to be pushing this hard.
But we let that one slip.
Yeah, it's yes. But if I'm the father, do I have legal rights?
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, of course, ultimately, God is sovereign. It's a baby. It doesn't matter
right.
what the man thinks or not.
Yeah.
But we need to be pushing this because, as Chris said, the only thing the two human beings can make is another human being. It takes a dad and a mom.
But notice who's are given the responsibilities to: the woman and the doctor. And they removed anybody else from the equation. And, I've been listening to this whole time and forgot, there's a dad.
Yes.
There's a dad involved.
Yeah. And I think that's why states need to start asserting that because that's a biological fact.
Well, and it's funny. The liberals have, what was it? What state was that? Where they outlawed abortion and the lady was trying to have, they want an exemption for black women. And then
Ohio. That was Ohio.
Ohio bill.
And they want an exemption for black women. And they also wanted to be able to charge child support all of a sudden. Hey, we want to know who the dad is. We want a blood test so that we can charge. It's like, wait. He's in the game now? There's skin in the game
Is this a decision between the father and the mother?
Why don't you just charge the doctor?
Are we given authority or we just want money?
Yeah. I think we should just charge the Supreme Court.
Yeah, but then they make us pay for it.
Tails. I answered it numerous times. When a woman gets pregnant, that is not a human being inside of her. It's part of her body. And this is about a woman having full agency and control of her body and making decisions about her body and what is part of her body with medical professionals.
This is the same argument for slavery. This is ownership.
Yeah, her property.
This is her property. You can't tell her what to do with her property. And I'm sorry, that's just not true.
That's right.
Even however you want to look at it, when you come to God's standard, even masters had to treat slaves a particular type of way.
Right.
God's standard, you couldn't treat a slave any type of way. You had to treat them with a certain, even Paul in the New Testament says, hey, masters, be good to your slaves, right? Slaves work hard for your masters. So there's a standard even there. So even somebody else's property has a standard. You can't just go around killing your property.
Right. Oh yeah. No, it was, they were considered human beings.
They were human beings. Right. Exactly. And she's outlawing that. We don't know. It's her body. She can do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
But the truth is, you can't do whatever you want to.
Yeah.
Even with your own body.
That's right. But the thing I hope that Georgia is thinking about, the folks, the brave people, and I'm cheering them on.
Yeah.
Way to go. Right. Governor, what's his name? I want to put his name out there. I'll get it. Governor of Georgia who signed the bill with all the Hollywood elites, all the rich elites
and
saying, we're going to take our business elsewhere.
Brian Kemp.
Praise God for Governor Brian Kemp, for a man with a backbone.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. I hope that you guys in Georgia, I always look at that camera. I'm sorry, guys. I'm looking at that one. I know you're watching me the whole show, but the thing is Georgia, get ready.
Yeah.
I hope you're not just thinking, yay, we did it. You know the appeal is coming. Yep. And the thing is this is not a decision that can be decided by courts.
That's right.
Now, it's going to go to the courts.
That's right. Yeah.
But the courts have no jurisdiction over this. The only thing the Constitution actually says explicitly, affirmatively, is that it grants the right of life and liberty.
Yeah.
That's right.
To everybody.
Yep. And who's our friend who says that the 14th Amendment it arguably includes the unborn? Was it Josh Chaddick or Chaddick? What? Something.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Sorry, man. We don't get names really well on this show.
But, especially me.
But the thing is that the only thing that the Constitution does is it affirmatively grants the right of life to human beings in our country.
Right. Yeah.
There is no constitutional law that grants the right to abortion.
That's right.
None. And it's just not there.
Right.
And the thing is that we need to recognize that. And so when the courts come and they say this is an illegal law, Georgia needs to be ready to say, we don't care.
Yeah. That's us.
We don't care.
Right.
And I think, Christians need to be ready, stand up for the unborn all the way to the point of telling them, come make us.
Right. And the liberals, actually, the nice thing, what God's done this last couple of years, actually, the liberals have actually given us that argument. They've actually embedded it in their own state laws.
And Rick said marijuana, the immigration stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, you go take care of this. If you care about federal law, take care of this.
Also, too, let them take us to the Supreme Court. I think we need to take the Supreme Court game for us out of it.
Yeah.
We just sit here and do our thing. We stay in our local levels. We work at our
we want the Supreme Court to repent.
We do. Yeah, absolutely.
But we don't need the Supreme Court to tell us it's okay to stop killing babies.
Yeah, because what we end up doing is acting like liberals and saying, please, Supreme Court, would you make a statement for all the states? No, that's not their job.
Yeah. Right.
That's not their job to pass a law.
And my point about saying make them come make us, I'm not arguing anything here about any kind of violence or use of force.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying flop.
Yeah.
Just flop.
Don't show up.
Don't show up. You say, if you want the abortion clinics open, you're going to have to send troops in here and make them open. Otherwise, our Georgia state troopers are going to keep the doors closed.
Right. Amen.
And we won't fire a shot. We're not going to do anything violent, but we're not going to obey you.
Yeah.
On this matter, because the word of God, I know.
See, that's why I don't say anything during the show, because it don't matter.
The word of God is clear, and whether we should obey man or God, right?
Yeah,
man. But you can't. But as Christians, we can't fight unless we're walking in the light. Like we can't even have these battles unless we're walking with Jesus.
And so, if you're going to say that to us to the Supreme Court, you better be saying it right now in your family. Yeah. In your family.
Well, practice personal holiness.
That's what I mean.
Shadrach, Meshach, and the bad Negro practiced way before they got in front.
Right. They said, we're not going to eat your king's food.
You got to find something. If you're single, get married. If you're married, have kids. If you have kids, go baptize them. Until Sunday, love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. Go fight, laugh, and feast. This is Cross Politics. Man, there's so much stuff to still be talking about with this. So good.
Yeah.